on the corner of 25 West Main Street in downtown Vermilion. The spot, Winnie Mae's, is proud to support programming on Coyote News. The spot, Winnie Mae's, providing salon and spa services for men, women, and children.
Coming up on Coyote News, we'll have the latest on today's reported campus threat.
Plus, students are taking the stage with the help of Broadway. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Lauren Solik.
And I'm Devin Martin. We'll get to those stories and more, but first.
Rumors of a potential threat on campus spread on social media earlier this morning, but USD officials and UPD assured students there wasn't a confirmed threat. It took until almost 1:30 for the students to be notified of the situation by the Dean of Students.
Tina Haraldson with USD Media Relations says that the university police interviewed students earlier today regarding the rumors and determined that there wasn't an immediate danger to campus. Haraldson also says the extra security has been added across campus as a precaution.
Former U.S. First Lady Barbara Bush passed away at the age of 92 yesterday. Former President Barack Obama took to Twitter to give his condolences. Bush's health declined in recent years and had declined further medical treatment. Bush served as the First Lady when her husband, George H.W. Bush, was in office from 1989 to 1993. Mrs. Bush was one of only two First Ladies who had a child who was elected president. An investigation is underway into whether wear and tear caused a fan blade to snap off in the Southwest jet engine. The incident left one person dead and 7 people injured yesterday. A window on the plane was also smashed by a piece of debris from the engine. Passengers had to scramble to save a woman from getting sucked out as the plane was traveling from New York to Dallas. The pilot made a rapid descent and landed safely in Philadelphia. There were 149 people on board. Starbucks says that it will be closing more than 8,000 U.S. stores for several hours on May 29th to conduct racial bias training for their almost 200,000 employees. The training comes after the arrests of 2 black males sparked protests and calls for a boycott of the coffee chain on social media. Starbucks CEO says the arrests were reprehensible and that he wants to apologize to the 2 men face to face. Okay, Carter, please tell me today was the last of the snow. I did not enjoy waking up to that.
It should be, but I can't guarantee anything. However, it looks like it'll be getting warmer. Right now it's 37 degrees outside. The rain and snow should stop by tonight, and it will get down to a low of 26. There's not a lot of accumulation expected. Things are looking up after today's snow, though. Tomorrow will be sunny and 45 degrees, so the snow won't be staying for much longer. It will be partly cloudy overnight with a low of 26. Friday, we'll see partly sunny skies with a high of 46 and a cloudy evening with a low of 33. And for your weekend forecast, we'll hit the 50s, with Saturday being mostly cloudy but with a high of 51. On Sunday, we'll see a high of 55 with partly sunny skies and a low around 37. And that's your Coyote weather.
Thanks, Carter. USD students raise thousands of dollars every year for the Sanford Children's Hospital in Sioux Falls. Coyote News' Allie Boyson reports on how Dakotathon is preparing for their dance marathon.
The organization hopes to build on last year's success and raise $152,000. Dakotathon executive Jackson Shriver said that last year's marathon had a large impact on his life.
Honestly, it was one of the best experiences in my life. We had spent the entire year worrying about hitting our goal and weren't sure if we were going to make it, but being able to sit down and realize that we had done it was a really incredible experience, and especially after hearing all of our Miracles children's stories, it's awesome to give back to those families.
Co-recruitment chair Michaela Goldamer also had a similar experience.
And I always say, you never know what it's going to be like until you experience it, and then once you experience it, it changes your life.
Shriver says the year-long preparations are worth it to make a difference in the Miracle children's lives.
Definitely a lot of work, but it's one of the most rewarding things I've ever been involved in. So.
Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Allie Boyson.
The dance marathon will be held all over Vermilion this Saturday through Sunday.
Research new opportunities in curriculum planning are currently underway by the Sustainability and Environment Department. The South Dakota Board of Regents have recently approved the region's first doctoral program in sustainability. Chair of the Sustainability and Environment Department, Megan Jarkow, says the opportunities available for sustainability graduates will be beneficial.
So sustainability is really a growing field, and so I think for students it's exciting to be part of something that You know, the possibilities for sustainability majors, I think, will just continue to grow. And because sustainability is a relatively new graduate field, especially, you know, the opportunities for sustainability graduates, I think, is going to be really, really big.
If students are interested in gaining opportunities within sustainability, they could join the Sustainability Club, Greening Vermilion, or apply for undergraduate and graduate research.
The Sustainability Club is working year-round to increase environmental awareness on campus, as well as creating new ways to promote sustainability in the Vermilion community. One way students got involved this week was by attending the Earth Day Fair, where locally made products, soaps, and plants were being sold by various vendors, as well as a free buffet donated by the local food pantry.
So we have a whole array. So we have different clubs from USD that are promoting like a better earth and a better USD. But we also have like Upward Cutting Farm and their zoo, and they're talking about different like ways of composting. We have waste management, we have recycling, and then we even have the biology department, and there's snakes and stuff trying to show us about like the environment and different habitats.
Students could also interact with wild animals and chat with different student organizations, such as the Chemistry Club, where one little future coyote may have found his passion.
So the red ones are oxygen. They taught you how to take them, and then there was little connectors. You put two in on the side, and then you can connect hydrogen to it. What does that make? Water.
The Sustainability Club is working on new ways to incorporate waste management, recycling, and other environmentally friendly programs onto campus.
After the break, we'll tell you about the impact a $5 donation can make on the university.
I dance so that kids can have normal childhoods and not worry about any doctors or hospital visits.
I dance for the ones who can't bust a move.
I dance for more laughter and smiles.
I dance to give kids hope.
I dance so kids can be kids for the day.
I dance so that every kid has the chance to be a coyote.
But first, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg.
But first, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg told senators yesterday.
Zuckerberg told the members of the Senate Judiciary.
Think you can do better? Prove it.
This is Coyote News.
The theater department's latest production, Cabaret, features dance from a famous Broadway choreographer. Coyote News' Morgan Matson talks with cast members about how their dancing improved for the show.
Chet Walker, a choreographer known for Pippin and more, visited USD in March for 10 days to stage USD's production of Cabaret. Director Joe Stollenwerk says students benefited from Walker's teaching.
Really did some excellent, creative, fun, and I think that really makes this show leap off the stage.
Cabaret is set in 1930s Berlin before the rise of Hitler in Germany. Stollenwerk says the show deals with opposing political ideas.
Really entertaining, fun, funny, sexy show that also deals with some really relevant political topics.
Brett Reese plays the main role of an American writer named Cliff Bradshaw. Reese says the issue of political involvement is reflected in Cabaret.
We have a trouble with political participation in the United States, and that's kind of what this show critiques. There are a lot of characters that are like, oh, well, this doesn't matter, like politics won't affect me. And then once they realize that it is going to affect them, it's already too late and they can't do anything to change it.
Josie Kosick plays Sally Bowles in the production, and she says she enjoyed working with Walker on her scenes.
He worked at our level and at our pace, so it wasn't like we were being overly challenged. He was a great mentor. He was so nice to everyone, and he always had great advice to give.
Kosick says playing Sally opened her eyes to her character's many layers.
Sally is a very interesting character. She's very bubbly and outgoing, so I think she's probably one of the most complex characters I've ever played.
For Coyote News, I'm Morgan Matson.
Cabaret is showing in the Knutson Theater in the Fine Arts Building tonight through Saturday night at 7:30 with a matinee at 2 on Sunday.
The ability to eat hot dogs is helping to raise awareness for type 1 diabetes. Delta Tau Delta hosted Delt Dogs. People who attended the event could participate in a dunk tank, a hot dog eating contest, or other outdoor activities. The funds raised for the event go to the JDRF Foundation, which goes toward research for type 1 diabetes diagnosed in younger children. The next fundraiser that Delt will have will be in the fall for their annual Teddy Bear Run, which benefits the Avera Children's Hospital in Sioux Falls.
Delts aren't the only ones fundraising on campus. USD fraternities and sororities have many approaches when it comes to raising money. The Greek fundraisers take many forms. Pi Kappa Alpha held their annual Pikes in the Park event as a part of their fundraising week.
Today's the Pikes in the Park. It's our 12th annual Pikes in the Park. It's just kind of like a picnic, sort of get together for everyone in the community to come out. It helps raise money for our philanthropy, Cure Kids Cancer. It's just a really cool event just to kind of get to meet people and have a good time.
On Thursday, Kappa Alpha Theta hosted a taco feed to benefit court-appointed special advocates. Theta uses their charity as a way to give back to the community.
It's kind of what brings us all together. So yes, we have this house of amazing leading women who are developing and growing together, but we want to use all of these talents and all of these abilities that we have for a common purpose, and this is our common purpose, is for the greater good of society.
CASA is a nationwide charity, while Cure Kids Cancer is based at the Castle of Care in Sioux Falls. Besides these two events, the Pikes had a week-long campout outside of ID Week's library to raise awareness for homelessness.
Funds are being raised for an endowment scholarship in President Abbott's name. The Yote Report's Nick Nelson spoke to the SGA president about the fundraiser.
For Founders Day and Giving Week, the university has decided to honor the legacy of Jim Abbott for his 21 years as USD's president. SGA President Josh Sorby says a James Abbott Endowment Fund is already underway.
You get nifty buttons if you make a $5 donation, and then on Friday we'll have donuts and donations in the morning. We'll have food trucks here for lunch, right out on the Legacy lawn. A lot of events going on to just hopefully generate money and interest to start a Legacy scholarship that will continue his honor.
Sorby says that the fundraising is a reflection of Jim Abbott and his legacy here at USD, a legacy which will continue for many years to come.
His legacy is empowering, it's engaging. He's a figure of Vermilion and of South Dakota, and we're really going to miss him.
Sorby says his devotion to the students will be his greatest legacy of all. For the Yote Report, I'm Nick Nelson.
Funds will be raised until the end of the week. Coming up, one group of students is having fun right on the spot.
But first, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg.
But first, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg told senators yesterday.
Zuckerberg told the members of the Senate judiciary.
Think you can do better? Prove it.
This is Coyote News.
The annual South Dakota Shakespeare Festival is coming up in June, and members of the USD community found a unique way to fundraise for the festival. On Saturday evening, an acting troupe of USD students called the Bards performed several Shakespearean monologues at the Vermilion Community Theater. After student performances, a band of USD professors called the Beards played several songs. Beards guitarist and biology professor Jake Kirby says the Beards and the Bards were happy to fundraise with a concert.
Alliteration than beer, Bards, and the Beards. Every summer, the university, with a lot of other folks, brings in actors from all over the country, in fact. So some of these are USD students, others are actors from New York, Midwest, and so on and so forth. And they put on a different play every year.
After releasing a video audition for the NPR Tiny Desk concert with their song Locker Room Talk, the Beards say they're looking forward to the festival this summer and playing more shows in Vermilion.
So we're working on an album right now. We're hoping to get that out this summer. We'll be playing at the Brick House all summer long, so we'll be doing different shows in the outside patio. We like to do that. We were selected to be on the White Walls, which is a PBS program that features original music. Lucky to be on that as well. So it looks like a busy summer for the Beards.
The Shakespeare Festival will be held from June 7th to the 10th at Prentice Park.
Laura Chandler will fill the position as the director of the Center for Diversity and Community starting in June. Chandler's first duty will be finding a new intercultural program coordinator for the CDC. Chandler currently works as an assistant professor of history at SDSU. When walking through the muck on Thursday nights, you may hear laughter coming from the pit. USD's Improv Club meets weekly to work on their comedy skills, and they perform every couple of weeks.
We play a bunch of improv games, and we just have fun, and we focus on improving, bringing comedy to campus, and working on our improv skills.
The Improv Club welcomes all students.
If they want to get involved, all they have to do is they can go on USD Involved, get our contact information, just talk to anyone.
The club meets in Muck 211 Thursdays at 5. The Improv Club will be having its end of the semester performance this Friday at Farber Hall in Old Main. The show times are 7 and 9:30, and it's free to attend.
Students everywhere often rely on coffee to get through their day. However, a California law may affect that as they force coffee shops to have a warning label on their cups. The law is a part of Proposition 65, which requires the state to publish a list of chemicals that cause cancer. Due to the presence of acrylamide, UBRU student employee Ezra Voigt says he thinks coffee sales may be affected if the law spreads nationwide.
I think it would definitely affect a lot of customers. I feel that if they saw a label that says there's cancer in the drinks or that it causes cancer, I feel like a lot of people would be turned off by that. But then on the flip side, I feel like some people really wouldn't care because, a lot of things cause cancer nowadays. So.
Currently, California is the only state that requires the labels. Now, Coyote News' Allie Boyson is joining us live from the muck with the co-chairs for the President James Abbott Celebration Committee, Conrad Adam and Tegan McNary. Allie?
Thanks, Lauren. Tegan and Conrad are here to tell me a little bit more about President Abbott's 21 years of service here at USD. Thank you guys for being here. So how does this retirement party give students the chance to connect with President Abbott's legacy?
I think it's a good opportunity just for them to connect with President Abbott himself. He's going to be at the celebration. It's all the Coyotes rallying around his 21 years of leadership. And I think it just gets everybody really excited about what he's done here on campus and his retirement in general.
So Conrad, what do you think President Abbott's greatest contribution to the student body has been?
Sure, he's always been an advocate for students, whether it's student scholarships, building new buildings here on campus for students to use, or even Coyote athletics. He's always put students first, and I think that's pretty special to see what he's done over the past 21 years.
So as the search committee has continued, they haven't named anyone yet, but what do you think will be the biggest challenge for the newest president to fill those shoes?
I think, honestly, just everybody knows President Abbott so well. He's been here for so long, and his connection with the students, and I think that that's going to be difficult for the new president to fulfill right away. I'm more than confident that they'll be able to do it, but I think that that'll be the biggest challenge.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So the retirement party for President Abbott will be located in the Muck Pit on Friday from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. So students can stop by, grab a piece of cake, and even grab buttons with President Abbott's Bitmoji on them. Reporting live from the Muck for Coyote News, I'm Allie Boyson.
Allie, so Lexi, I heard that the athletic department signed a few new athletes.
Yes, they sure did. Triathlon, golf, and softball team all inked new athletes. We'll have the latest on the new signees and results next in sports.
This is Coyote News.
Hello, I'm Carter Hofer. Tonight on Coyote Sports, the men's golf team finishes out their regular season.
And I'm Lexi Peterson. Several teams have added new recruits. But first,
the Miami Dolphins invited 18 seniors from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, to announce the team's selections on the third day of the NFL Draft next week. The community members will help announce the team's picks in rounds 4 through 7. Olympic medalist Jordan Weber has filed a lawsuit against Michigan State University and USA Gymnastics for failing to protect her from the assaults of Larry Nassar. The suit alleges officials of the two programs failed to disclose and hid his criminal conduct from the public and authorities. Weber says the two also got rid of medical records in order to further hide the abuse. Former Coyote Tyson Graham signed with the Atlanta Falcons yesterday after spending a year with the Indianapolis Colts. Graham went undrafted in last year's NFL draft and signed with the Colts as a free agent before being released shortly after. Graham will now compete for a roster spot with 3 other safeties.
for a team to make it to nationals, there's a lot of hard work and practice that goes into preparation. Coyote News' Caitlin Ryan shows us how the dance team is more than just a team. They're a family.
During football games and halftime at the basketball games, there's usually performance from the USD dance team, but that is not their only stage. The dance team just rounded out their season at the NDA Nationals in Daytona Beach, Florida.
It was super fun. We had to do a preliminary round, and so we got to dance on a stage in a huge auditorium, and they take, I want to say it was 60% of the teams to finals. And if you made finals, you got to dance on the bandshell, which was right on the beach, and it was super, super cool experience. So it was a really good experience. It was super fun.
Now that this year's season is over, the work for next year has just begun.
After placing 9th in their last competition, the USD dance team is looking for new members ready to leap into their new season.
As long as you can pick up on choreography and love to dance, and have the motivation to make it to nationals, make it to that national stage, that's all we can ask for.
It takes dedication to join a team, but the relationships that build during that time makes it easier.
I don't know, it kind of just starts out when we first all meet each other over the summer. We do a lot of bonding. Even all of us live together. There's a good chunk of us that live together right now, and a few of us are living together next year. It's just, I don't know, we just all get along. We just are always together 24/7, always pushing each other. If it's outside of school, even during schoolwork, some of us are in the same classes, same majors. So we're always together and we're always helping each other out.
For the Sports Report, I'm Caitlin Ryan.
You can check out the dance team at this Friday's spring football game.
The golf team concluded their regular season action this week at the Mason Rudolph Championship in Tennessee. The Coyotes took 11th as a team and were led by Tommy Vining, who placed 18th overall with 220 strokes over the weekend. Scott Futenberg followed up at 50th for the Yotes, while Tate Arns finished close behind at 57th. The field featured 82 total players from 15 different teams. The team will now prepare for the Summit League Tournament Championship, taking place next Sunday in Kansas.
The Coyotes tennis team also finished out their regular season this week, traveling to Sioux Falls to host Denver. The meet was played in Sioux Falls rather than Vermilion, thanks to this week's weather. The team has swept 7-0 and will now head to the Summit League Championships as the 3 seed, taking on number 2 ranked Omaha. The tournament will begin next Friday in Denver.
The Coyotes had a busy weekend of recruiting as they signed 4 athletes over 3 teams. The triathlon team added their first 2 members in the signings of recruits Leah Drendenberg and Peyton Rise. Drendenberg placed 4th in the USA Triathlon High School National Championships last year, while Rise had several top 25 finishes while competing in Canada since 2015. The softball team also took part in the recruiting in signing Alexis Egan. Egan brings a lot of speed to the team playing outfield, as she also stole 135 bases during her high school career. Meanwhile, the men's golf team signed recruit Ben Hicks this week. Hicks was a team captain at his high school and won the Metro West Conference Championship twice in his career.
Following a 26-win season, the men's Coyote basketball team is preparing for the next season under their new head coach, Todd Lee. Coyote News' Nick Nelson is live from the muck with a member of the team, Tristan Simpson. Nick?
Thanks, Lexi. I'm here with Tristan Simpson to talk about the transition into Mike Lee's coachhood.
thanks for being here.
Yep, no problem.
So, how have practices changed with Coach Lee as coach?
We haven't quite had a practice yet. We're kind of just going through workouts. Spring session, you have about 2 hours a week. You kind of just work out, and some of the stuff is the same as that we had with the previous coaching staff, but a lot of stuff is new stuff. We're really focusing on skill development, kind of what it seems like. But they're going pretty good for the first couple of 2 weeks.
Matt Mooney just recently announced that he'll be leaving the basketball team, leaving the Coyotes. He'll be leaving the Coyotes. How do you think this will affect the team going into the future?
We're sad to see him go. Obviously, Mooney gave his all his 2 years he was here on the court, but it's next man up. When Carlton Hurst went down right before conference season, Tyler Peterson stepped in and did a good job. So it sucks to see him go, but I think we're gonna be just fine.
You talked a little bit about that skill building in the off season. What else are you doing in the off season to help prepare for next season?
Getting stronger in the weight room. We've been lifting about 4 times a week, so I'd say that's the biggest thing. And playing more as a team, playing more open gym, just competing against each other on the court and in the weight room is gonna help us get better.
All right, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
The team continues practicing going into next season. Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Nick Nelson.
Thanks, Nick. Advice comes in many shapes and forms. We asked students what was their best advice they've ever received. Their answers next.
But first, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg.
But first, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg told senators yesterday.
Zuckerberg told the members of the Senate judiciary.
Think you can do better? Prove it.
I dance so that kids can have normal childhoods and not worry about any doctors or hospital visits.
I dance for the ones who can't bust a move.
I dance for more laughter and smiles.
I dance to give kids hope.
I dance so kids can be kids for the day.
I dance so that every kid has the chance to be a coyote.
This is Coyote News.
This time of year can be stressful between exams and graduation.
And in this week's Out and About, we asked students what was the best advice they've ever received.
Here's what they had to say.
Do what you think is right. I would say if somebody asks you to go do something that's it's going to be memorable, go do it. Don't just stay in your room.
Live life to the fullest.
That everyone makes their own choices, and so you should never feel guilty about what other people do or say.
I would just say no matter what, just do what makes you happy, regardless of how it affects people or how it affects the situation.
Work harder.
If you go to exam, you have to increase your limit,
Don't waste time, I think.
Don't stress so much, because I stress a lot. Just keep swimming.
Go to class. I don't know, man. Live one day at a time and don't worry too much about the future.
Everything happens for a reason.
It's to always work hard and never give up on your dreams. Never eat yellow snow.
Never use cruise control when it's snowing.
Never give up.
If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Just be yourself.
The best advice I've gotten is simply just to follow your dreams.
Mine would be mind over matter.
Mine would be from Jedi Master Yoda, do or do not, there is no try.
Be sure to pick up an issue of The Lawn out today with the farewell feature of President Abbott.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
And be sure to watch and listen for Coyote News daily updates throughout the week on KAOR and on the Coyote News social media pages.
Thank you and have a great night.